Hey, everyone. How are you? How are you, Alan? So, another episode today. We're here at Data Meetings, 3Charts at 3. And we were going to discuss social media data, really interesting data. I'm gonna have here Elon Musk on my back with Twitter. And you guys know, today, everybody knows about, Elon Musk just purchased Twitter. What do you think, Alan, about this purchase? Do you like the idea of him buying Twitter? It's okay if you do not like it. This is fine.
I saw a
So,
lot of people saying like, "Yeah, this is funny because I can download for phone for free on the App Store." So I don't know why he bought it, but I saw a lot of people say, "But I think it's a very nice move." I don't know what are his intentions with this, like what are his next moves. But I think it's interesting. When Zuckerberg bought Instagram, it was also an interesting move, adding Instagram to the now Meta business, right? So I can see a lot of things going on the next days. It's gonna be a nice thing, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely. I think the same way. I think it's just we're gonna have to give him a time to know what's going on, what is the reason for this purchase. But I think it will be it should be good. I mean, I think they may need some changes there. So who knows? We're gonna have to wait. Michael, what do you think, Michael? Just wait a little bit more and see what happens, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I've got no stake in the game.
Me too.
As long as it really doesn't impact, what I can do day to day, communicating with users and, reading content, it is what it is. Will be interesting to see now is, how it affects, more speech. We look at things like Facebook and Twitter and people being locked in Facebook or Twitter jail. Is that going to decrease? I think it'll be interesting just to see how it plays out. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think this
expecting
is
too much
interesting.
to
I
change.
think, yeah, I would guess that this is going to reduce like people getting like the account suspended or something
Mm-hmm.
for any kind of, yeah.
Exactly. So just we're gonna have to wait and see what happened. I mean, you never know what will happen, but it should be cool. It should be interesting to see what's going on with the Twitter, purchase. But anyway, so today we have a great show. If you've never been in the show today, we're going to discuss some social media dashboards. We're going to go through three different questions. The first question is kind of like, what do you like about this dashboard or biz? And the second one, is there anything that is not clear? And at the end, we're going to talk about, hey, if you were going to, present this dashboard or this visualization, it could be just one chart. This all could be from Tableau, Power BI, MicroStrategy, or anything that we find online. It doesn't have to be one tool, a specific tool. You're gonna present this. What minor adjustments can you make? How can we make them better? Is there anything that we can do to make this better? So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm gonna start with one from Alan. Alan is one of our consultants here at Data Meaning, and Michael Perlo is also a principal consultant, and myself, and we do this all the time. So if you're interested in doing anything like this for your customers, help you out with your data visualizations or anything related to BI that you need, just let us know. You can communicate with any of us at datameaning.com. We also have so many different YouTube videos, over 100 videos in our YouTube channel related to Alteryx, Tableau, Power BI. Just check them out. So I'm going to share my screen and show you one from Alan. Alan submitted it to us today. Really cool, really very interesting because it's very up to this point of the Twitter purchase or acquisition. So well, let's start with Michael. Michael, what do you think about this chart? What do we call that chart actually? Mm.
Yeah, much like the tree map. So I actually am liking this. I think when we start to see tree maps and other tools, really it's only very clear, on sizing on kind of the first maybe 20-40% of the content, and then everything else is too small really to fit anything in, so you don't know what's going on. This is kind of nice because I can see everything, from the small impact to the large impact. I can actually read the smallest content from Instagram, pretty good. The colors, we'll get into that later. I might have some different options I might use for colors, but I'm not disliking it. I think it's very clear. I don't know on this one if I think it's more just an image, where you don't have maybe any hover over capabilities. But when we're talking about just the acquisition size in billions, it's doing what it says. It's showing the magnitude, the impact of the smallest ones to the largest ones. It's categorizing things by the actual, organization. If you consider Elon an organization, I guess. But I actually like this. I think this is one of the few times that when you say, hey, what type of chart type do I use? This kind of works.
Exactly.
We kind of default to bar charts, pretty frequently, but this one works for me. You can see Twitter is by far, one of the biggest acquisitions monetary wise in quite a while.
Yeah, we have Joe. Joe, thank you for being here. Joe says, heard Tumblr will make a big comeback with all the Twitter news. That's funny.
We'll see.
That's funny. So Joe, do you use this type of charts, right? On Click, and I think what do you think in this case? I think this works in this case. He said only Google is in the social media sphere aside from YouTube. Failed attempt with Google Plus. Yeah. So I think this works for me. Like if my first impression is like what you said, Michael. It works because there's not that many. If you think about it, how many companies we have here? It's like let me see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, less than 10. So when you have something like this, I mean, it works fine. I mean, and you can put all these annotations, the year, the purchase, the company name. It works. I mean, if it go over than that, I'm not sure I will use this. I'm not 100% sure it will work right. But in this case, it's just working. Just works.
Just an interesting fact is that like Instagram was like 1 billion on a value on 2012 there. And today they have an estimate to be worth like 100 billion. So
Yeah.
it seems to be a good deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Joe says,
I think that could actually, I like that. When we're looking at that kind of information, that would be a great complementary chart to kind of see, was this, a good deal or was it kind of sunken cost?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like a good suggestion or a good chart like to build is like the acquisition value and the actual value. Like if it we can compare. Like of course we can do with this with Twitter because it was like yesterday, like the day before yesterday. But for the others, like until 2021, we can do like this kind of how much does this value today? What is the value today? We can do a small comparison between all of them.
Yeah. So it's in the chat. Jose is saying, "Will be cool to see independent ones or those still left." Correct. Who's the next ones they're gonna probably acquire because then maybe you can buy those stocks or do something with it. Then James says, "Streamlab is the solution when someone really wants a pie chart." Yeah. That is true. I mean, yeah, it's better to provide I mean, in my opinion, if I had a customer, think about this. Tell Michael, what do you think? If we have a customer that he wants a pie chart, there's no other way that you cannot figure it out, like to get them out of I want a pie chart. Give me a pie chart. Honestly, I prefer to give them the stream app. I mean, I think that I'm making them it's going to be more useful. It's going to be better. It sometimes takes more space, but I think I prefer to use this like James says, that instead of having to create that pie chart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, remember, pie charts are really kind of part to whole. So when we look at the tree map, this is somewhat of part to whole. Again, we could have done this through a bar chart as well, the way that this was organized with categorization, you're not really going to get that necessarily the same feel with a pie chart. You could. I don't know that it would have the same effect. We'll also see later on from one of the charts that I'll provide, maybe a different way that could be incorporated. But I do think this is, a little more effective than certainly doing just a pie chart. That I would not necessarily want to do, just because of the slice. We know that Instagram and Tumblr would be too difficult to get any kind of context. So now you'd be doing call outs and other type of labeling just to see, what that looks like.
Exactly. We have Joe saying like something, he said just a bar chart for acquisitions cost by year will be a better, maybe, he said. So, and he reminded us the TikTok rejected deals from Oracle, Microsoft, and Walmart. I remember that Walmart thing was weird too. That's funny. Definitely. I mean, this is great example, Alan. Thank you for bringing this example. Like we said, there's suggestions to maybe make it in like a bar chart, like Joe said. But great.
Yeah. The other, one of the other suggestions, I mentioned color. So on my monitor, the resolution, the distinction between Yahoo and Salesforce, that color, it is too similar. The color between Microsoft and Google for me, right, on my monitor, too similar. So
yeah, and we're repeating colors. Red WhatsApp, red. What is the other one? Instagram. Why? I mean, I'm not sure.
No, but I think the colors.
Because it's Facebook. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
because it's Facebook. I got it. I didn't even know that from the start, and you have to read it on the top. But then, okay, that makes sense. It's good.
Yeah, for example, Microsoft, it got 3, so that's why they have the same color, right?
Yes. And Tableau got Tableau and Slack. Okay, sorry, that's Salesforce. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Maybe it's just the color choices.
Yeah, the one thing that I really like it on this one is because we have a legend, right? So I can see different values between, for example, Slack and LinkedIn, because I have seen some tree maps that they didn't add anything. So we would still need to do a comparison, like what is bigger, is Slack or LinkedIn, which one is bigger, because we can't see. It's not clear for us, right? We can clearly see that Twitter is bigger than anyone else, of course. But compared like Skype and GitHub, I don't know it's bigger. I have to stay 15 seconds thinking about it. So I think on this example, like a legend is very good to avoid this time being spent. Like which is bigger? Exactly. I don't know.
Exactly. So Michael, let's show us. Do you want me to show it, or do you want me, or do you want to show it? This doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Yeah, if you want to pull it up, if you got it ready to go.
I have it here.
Awesome.
So Joe, I think you're gonna like this because you like this type of charts like this. So
what we're looking at, is kind of in a little bit, it's kind of the breakdown between Facebook and Twitter. So if you are not following Naresh on Tableau Public, please do. This guy is absolutely amazing with pretty much everything that he creates. That being said, all of his stuff is definitely beautiful. I don't know that it's always geared towards enterprise-friendly consumption. Coxcomb charts, aren't necessarily the easiest to read. I think if you kind of look at it, you kind of get an idea of it. If you look at the history of kind of Coxcomb charts, they were, first originally used, I forgot the date, but back in kind of Florence Nightingale chart, looking at kind of the wartime scenarios and how you dissect different categories and segments into that radius. So what we're kind of seeing here, don't think of it necessarily as a part to whole, because we have so many different topical areas, but consider that segment, that slice, that part to whole. So if we look at, what's on the left over there, or your left, with, I guess Facebook, look at the gender, that slice, what that's showing you are the different segments within that slice. So that is actually the entire population of whatever that amount may add up to. So we're looking at, men, women, and then each of those segments are the percentages within that. So this type of chart is really good for identifying just kind of the big picture patterns. It's probably not a good use case if you're trying to do comparisons between one and the other. So again, if you have to look at Facebook versus Twitter, you do have to kind of read into those details. Okay, men on the gender side for Facebook, okay, we're looking at 57% comparatively to 62%. Visually, you're not able to even see that. So you have to do some interpretation. But it works great for the patterns to see if I were to stack these theoretically on top of each other, it feels kind of similar to some degree. So that's what's interesting to me. I think it works to some level. Again, this type of chart is not, for the, I guess, analytically inclined where you're trying to do a whole lot of assessment. But for the big picture, it certainly works.
Yeah, I put it in the chat and over there, so you can see it in LinkedIn. I put it in Google and YouTube too, so you guys can see what this one is specifically. Just let me know, whoever want to comment on it. I think it's awesome, and the way it's a different way to do this type of, taking this much information and do comparisons between each other. So you can go here really quick and you can see that, hey, and I know it's 186 million daily users, but gender male 62% on Twitter, 57% on Facebook, and so on, right? So you can see that very close of people that are aware of Facebook and the people that are aware of Twitter. It's very close, 87, 88. What do you
Yeah,
think, Ellen?
it seems to me on a highlight that they're very similar. Everything from Facebook and also comparing to Twitter, they're very similar. Like if you do not see the numbers, if you see only the disposition of the shapes, you can see that they are very alike. I can see that.
Yeah, because if you're going off sheer quantity, you got 1.8 billion comparatively to 100 and almost 90 million. If this was a traditional pie chart where the slices are showing it, you wouldn't have the same patterns. So again, this is relative, within that segment, on a percentage case. So you kind of see, like Ellen's saying, there's some similarities there. Sheer volume is completely off. But definitely in the way that people use daily activity, their demographics, education, things like that, very, very similar.
Exactly. One thing that Joe is pointing out, which is very important, he says a lot has changed in 2 years, so it would be cool to update this. Facebook diagram should be 10 times bigger than Twitter diagram to show the volume. Okay. Especially, I'm wondering if this have to be just Facebook, right? It doesn't take in consideration everything else that Facebook owns right now, like Instagram and everything else.
Yeah,
right?
we don't know if it's WhatsApp, if everything's included. We're assuming it's just Facebook, though.
Yeah. Okay.
But I might challenge that. Even though there might be a lot more users on Twitter or a lot more users on Facebook, I would go with the theory that the pattern is still relatively similar.
Okay.
But we're not going to know unless we get this data updated. I think that would be kind of interesting to see if things change significantly.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Look at this, 12% in this area here. It says the users update their status every day, and in Twitter, 52% of users update their status every day. And
yeah, if we were comparing this maybe to Instagram now versus Twitter, I think maybe we'd have a different story. Facebook, I can see that.
Yeah, and then you see that 25% of Twitter users follow the brand, and only 40%. I mean, what is interesting about this, when I'm looking at this visualization and looks interesting to me, is that we can get this big or top highlights really fast from here around it, right? Like you're going around and you can compare one to the other really fast, going left to right, and then you can see those top ones. And then if you wanted to see more about their demographic, their education, their age, their income, their gender, then you go here, right? But I like how this on the right, I can read it really fast, and it can give me some insights. Mm.
Yeah.
So that is the very interesting thing.
Yeah, the only thing I like to see on data visualizations like these is like to highlight the difference. Like for example, if you just see this dashboard right now, I am not like 100% sure that we have much more Facebook users than Twitter. Like we have two blue information. Like
Mhm.
I don't see like anything highlighting that Facebook has much more users than Twitter. I don't see a highlight there. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Mhm.
as we were saying, if this was like a pie chart or or tree map, anything else, it would be clear for us. Like it's like much bigger, the
Mhm.
amount of users, right? The quantity. Uh, but this is not highlighting anything. It is just showing you the information, and we are going to compare by ourselves and
Mhm.
take our conclusions, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and since this is Tableau, I think that could be an easy implementation. As you hover over the categories or select on them, you could have something as a tooltip, or maybe even a third chart to do that comparison as you interact with it.
Right.
Correct. So Joe was saying, it's one of those business that could be a poster. It's basically 11 charts combining into one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it has all those highlights again. Some of these visualization best practices. I mean, you need to create some big numbers. You need to create something that pops out to your user quickly that they can compare. 179 billion, 186 million. It's showing those high numbers. The colors are very good colors. I mean, and it doesn't make your life. I mean, make your eyes actually very easier to read, and have a black background. It's very good title, right? Very simple.
Hmm.
So it give you the year. I mean, it's pretty good, right? Because it just gives you those big highlights. Actually, it says here data obtained from worldwide statistics to give an overview of social demographics. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's
it does exactly what it says. It delivers right on that.
mhm.
So
Overview. Yeah, exactly, an overview. So it's telling the story of what it's supposed to be. And here we have some. I mean, I was just thinking maybe in the tooltip, maybe something else could be added. That's what I was thinking that we could do. It doesn't give you nothing honestly in the tooltip other than the same information. So that's the only thing that I think that I could be improved. Maybe some, not sure what will I add to the tooltip, but maybe that's something that could be added, or just take it away because you don't really need it,
Hmm.
because it's the same.
yeah, I think the tooltips could be enhanced to actually show the full
Hmm.
impact of the segment.
Hmm.
In education, you're
Hmm.
looking at just that slice of other, but you don't know you're on other, right? So you do if you read the fine print, but I think that could be encapsulated with the rest of everything within that
Hmm.
education segment.
The other thing that I will add to the tooltip, not sure if this is important or good, but I was just thinking about it right now. A ranking. So if I'm in 17 education, how this ranks? Well, it's ranks number three, right? Like number one is college, second graduate, then third is other, and last one is high school. So some type of ranking, maybe something that it could be cool to add there in the tooltip, um, because in here, for example, this is many from age. So many you want to see which one is the highest percentage between age, right? So that will be something that to help you out really fast to get it instead of you having to think about which one is the highest or the one number 3 or 4. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, that could be
Um,
an easy implementation too.
Very easy, yeah, very easy to implement. And this there's another really cool thing about here about this. I'm gonna try to make it larger so everybody can see. Let me see if you guys can see this. Something that I really like was that they have this annotations. You can see there is like lines that are going
Hmm.
in, and they have like a dot. I don't know if you see that. Is they're like almost transparent lines,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a line and a little dot there.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. I kind of like that. I was trying to understand. They're like bar charts if you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just the call outs to that segment so you
Mhm.
can understand and follow it.
Mhm.
Comes up pretty, funny enough, clear on my monitor, so I can actually follow. Okay, the men is that top segment, women is the
Mhm.
bottom,
Mhm.
and so forth. So, but
Exactly.
it's subtle enough to where it's not
Mm-mm.
too busy or cluttering. So
Mm-mm.
I think again, did a very good job of doing that.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think that that's something cool that, I mean, I will, I don't know, I feel like it's awesome, right? That they were able to, like you said, settle in, just added it there. It's doesn't bother anyone, and just pointing out this is the area where this belong, right? This the high school, and it makes sense, right? The 48% and this one in college, for example, we can see that's the largest here, and then the next one 28 is the graduating, and then this one education other. So this one is the other piece, which is great. I mean, very good way to maybe to do this. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a great dashboard.
Yeah, it's something different, something interesting. I mean, it will take someone a little bit, of course, to go through it and read it, but it's just not difficult, right? It's not super
Yeah.
difficult, it's not super complicated.
And I know we've seen them in other dashboards, but that's a good point. Having some kind of an overlay for instructions. How do I read? How do I
Mhm,
understand how to do this? Otherwise, if you're not familiar with how to interpret a coxcomb, then
mhm,
you're going to Google, look it up, and then it makes sense. But
mhm.
I think that could be added here for better clarity.
Correct, correct, exactly. How to read and stuff. But after you can read it and look at it and understand, it's awesome. It's really good. Yeah. So great, Michael. This is really good dashboard, really cool, very interesting to the topic of today, the theme. So I'm going to show you two that I have. One looks really good, and the other one needs help. I think it needs some help. So let's start with the one that needs help, and then we can jump to the one that doesn't need that much help. So this is a dashboard I found called Social Media Data Analytics, and let me make it a little bit larger so you guys can see. I'm gonna put it also in the chat. I'll put it there in the chat. You start looking at it. Anybody can just tell me what you what is your first impression. Uh, Let me see. I put it in the chat here too. So I have to go to two different places to put it in the chat, but here is. So what's the first impression? Anybody?
Yeah, I think this is the one that needs help, right?
Yeah.
Well, expand on that because maybe your take on why it needs help is different than mine.
Yeah, I think, for example, like the clicks section. I don't know what's the point. Like, it's not clear for me. Like this clicks, like between it's like each section is like a month or something. Because I think we have 12, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is a month. It
Uh huh.
doesn't say here the
Uh huh.
month.
I think it's like monthly, right? And I don't know. Everything is red. I I don't know if I would put everything red as we have.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Um.
personally don't like the red. everything is red. Why does
Mhm.
everything have to be red?
Mhm.
I'm trying to. I don't think it have to be all red.
Mhm.
And then it's confusing because this red here, right? This little red here in this donut chart, it's Facebook. Then
Mhm.
the light red is LinkedIn. Does that mean that everything else is what? LinkedIn or
Yeah, it's
like,
confusing. Mhm.
I don't know. But then here we have Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, also red. So
Yeah, I think that's a good comment because if I think like keeping the same column for the same category would it's better to understand, right?
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I don't want to say too much. What do you think, Michael?
So I think I'm not I'm with you on the kind of color selection too. I think it's a little odd. I'm not mad about it, but what's bothering me more is the neumorphism design. I know that that's a thing for UI. Now we see this quite a bit. For whatever reason, it just doesn't work for me, and I'd kind of love to hear in the chat, if people are into this or not. I am more focused on the element, the background, on the design than I am the actual data. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at kind of the inlays, kind of the bubbled areas where things are sitting, and I'm not focusing my attention on the data itself. And so
Mm,
again, for me, this type of UI, this design, I just don't resonate. I know a lot of people like it. It just doesn't work for me. It detracts from actually, making
mhm,
the data the
mhm.
most important thing. So if I was to do anything, I'd make it less subtle. I wouldn't use this kind of design. If you want to use like a background using Figma or some other tool to do this, make it less or more subtle. This is, I just don't know. It's detracting from that. The other thing, the fonts, we've got a mix of kind of serif and sans serif fonts. That's
Mhm,
throwing me a
mhm,
little bit.
mhm,
The consistency there, and then the reds overall. It's difficult to see, especially in the engagements. You've got 4 items there, but you really got 2 different kinds of reds. Uh,
mhm,
the post bar chart, great. That makes sense. I like the bands. Those are good. Again, the neumorphic design doesn't work for me, but whatever. But I'm not
mhm.
sure why engagements isn't ordered.
Yeah,
Uh, it looks like maybe are we alphabetizing? Sorry, I'm losing my thoughts here. So I don't know why aren't we just going smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
why is it that way?
yeah.
Uh, yeah, but I do see in some of the comments, some of the other things, why are we doing this, that, does it
So
really need
yeah.
to be there?
So here's a couple of things from Jared R. Jared,
Hmm.
how are you, man? I remember you at Universal. Thank you for being here. Of course, I remember you. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you again. I know that I think you're in Tennessee now. Super cool to know that you're there now, working from home. So Jared says, and that percentage isn't clear. Percentage of what? Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that comes with what James is saying. So James is saying on almost all charts, there is no indication of what the metrics are. Yeah.
Yeah, like what is the last one?
Mhm.
Like what is
What
it?
is this?
What's the
Let's
point?
see.
What's the point of this?
Average engagement per post.
So you see what we need to go to see the title,
Yeah,
right?
we need to go to the link. I'm sorry, to the tooltip just to
To the
see.
tooltip. Yeah, we need to see.
But
We need to go
why is
there.
that?
Yeah.
For example, in this one, I mean, if you think about it, this is the engagement rate. But like James said, doesn't tell you that. I mean, you have to like hover on it. You have to like
Mm-hmm.
go there and look for that. So that's very important, right? Better titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe is commenting on what Michael was saying, that he doesn't like this design, this type of design, and it's trendy. A lot of people are doing this type of designs, but it just doesn't work right.
I'm with you, Joe.
But I
hope
think
so.
James definitely to the point. I mean, this is very confusing. What is it, for example, here? Total number of posts. Okay, so at least it says post here, and this says clicks, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, the clicks I think we saw in the comments,
Mhm.
that's a metric that, why, maybe for SEO and some other things might be important, but you got a lot of things over here. The engagements.
Mhm.
I think the thing that missing is the context.
Mhm.
Put a sentence. Maybe formulate the title,
Mhm.
pose it as a question. If you're not familiar with social media or analytics, well, what is engagement? How does that work? It doesn't have to be extensive.
Mhm.
Just, I don't need to hover over something to say, well, an engagement is, your ability to respond to something with other than just like a like or something.
Mhm.
Maybe you're actually commenting and
Mhm.
relating it to something. Don't know. So it just feels like here's the data. You do what you want with it. There's nothing guiding me or helping me to understand what I should really focus on or whether anything's good or bad.
Yeah. So James is saying on the chat on the on engagement, it also doesn't say if the months are for 1 year or an average over several years. That's right.
Well, yeah, James, I think you have to now interpret that. I'm just assuming, but if you're on 2020 under that clicks,
Mhm.
and I don't know, Emil, if you change that 2021, does it change it for the whole dashboard? Because if it does, or whatever 2019, I would remove that
Oh my
date.
goodness.
Yeah,
It,
see, so
it only
you
works on the year.
yeah, so yeah, to James is spot on. Then we have no idea what this
Mhm.
is for. Anything.
Exactly. So awesome. So this is working better than what I thought. So James and guys, everyone, James, Joe, Garrett, I'm gonna show you a dashboard now that have all of that you guys were saying. Probably correct. I hope that is correct. See what you think. Tell me what you think. So here, and oh, let me put it on the chat so everybody can see it. So you take a look at this one. So here we have better titles, better everything. So I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys can see it. I've just put it in. Let me see. I have to go to two places to do this. There is in YouTube. I'm gonna go to LinkedIn now and put it out there. Let's see. Oop. So the dashboard is in the chat now, so everybody can open it on another screen, look at it. Just let me know. So this dashboard, it's really cool. I mean, I actually, if I were me, seriously, if I had to like do a dashboard for my company and it have to be a social media dashboard, kind of like, I think I will do something very similar to this, or close to this, right? This includes very very simple colors. Hold on a second, sorry for that. It's very popular. This dashboard I found it because it was very popular online. It had a lot of views. We have here the months. These you can sort. This is very cool. Sort the tweets by impressions, likes, retweets, replies, engagements, engagement rate. So all my metrics, and we can select top 10 tweets, top 20, top 30. Yeah, like Joe said, I agree with you 100%. Good enclosure and layout. Yeah, you can see it. You can. I mean, let me see. What do you think? Anybody, Michael? What do you think? Hopefully, it's. I know it's a little bit clear. Maybe it's hard to.
Yeah,
Um,
I think overall it's very effective. I think in some aspects you have to reference other information to
mm,
maintain thought. So, for example, the tweets and engagement by weekday. Um,
mm,
it gives the bar chart and kind of a trend overall. Uh, but and we're seeing some numbers, but I don't know necessarily how many tweets there are. But then I look over, to the very far left, and I go, oh, there's 232 tweets. Okay, well that's fine.
mm,
I had to scan over. Not a big deal. Again, I think maybe they could have done, an overall chart or just reemphasized the number somewhere. Really minor stuff. I think overall it's a good, clean layout. It gives some of the analytic statistics that someone in SEO marketing might want to understand. I think there's some flexibility that could probably be done a little bit better with the selections. But other than that, I do like this one. I think it's pretty effective.
The one thing I wanted to point out, Alan, check this out. In the other one, people were talking about in the chat or everywhere. They
Yeah.
were saying, where is, like, what does engagement means, or what does this things means? If we hover here, look at that. It's right there.
Yeah,
If we hover to the
that's very
info,
good.
very good. Right now we know what tweets are, retweets, clicks, or like if this is a company, Joe, for example, and Joe deals a lot with healthcare too. What does all this specific business, let's say specific business rules, questions, or rates that belong, or things that belong just to that specific business or that specific, like in his case, industry, healthcare. What does that mean? And sometimes the people that are looking at this dashboard, they know those things. But if there's somebody that is new, somebody that I've never seen this before, this is a great a way to put it there. Yeah, so like Joe said, yeah, the tooltips are super helpful. And when we hover here, you guys can see there's more information. I'm gonna hover here. It's almost the same. Yeah.
I think that it's a very clean one. I
Very
like this
clean.
one a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're highlighting here. This is a highlight. Like, look at that. They're highlighting the. I really like this. Right? They saying tweets and engagement by hour. Immediately, it's a 1 p.m. because you have that one highlight. I didn't even need to look at the other ones. Right there, 1 p.m. And they're highlighting the lowest, the two lowest, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. So that was really cool.
Yeah, so it's doing a good job of kind of that pre-attentive attribute stuff. But then, I look to the top, those bands, and maybe help me understand what's the distinction between that one that's highlighted.
You mean this one?
No, at the very top.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, all those ones.
Yeah, like it's on a gray one.
Oh, I guess it's because of the month selection. So if we were to select a different month, okay.
Let me see. Let's try it. I'm gonna do June. So if I do June, yes, that's what it is.
Okay, cool.
But you are right. I mean, it took me some time to understand that, to know that. Oh, okay, I'm selecting the month here.
Yeah, it took me a while too.
It was not clear for me. I do. Oh, and it's sort by impressions. So let's see if I sort that by I don't know, engagements. See what happened. I don't know. I couldn't figure out what happened. Saturday. Look at that. I forgot. Okay, this the blue one, the highest, the lowest, the little gray. I like this two distinctions. Very easy to understand. So we have a cool comments. We have Saulo says very good tooltip. Jared said it's the month selected. Yeah, in the settings. Okay, yes, exactly. Thank you. And then Saulo said my only concern is the lack of grid layout. I mean, you're gonna read it like this, not that. I mean, versus last. So I'm wondering. So I'm trying to understand. Okay, versus last month. You guys understand this? Michael, do you understand like what it says? 133 impressions, right? Versus last month. Is that month that had that? Let me see. Because that's the same number.
I think it's the increase. Like we had more 133K more than last month. It's not clear as well.
Look at this. That James always have incredible comments, and he said the scale between tweets and max engagement is too large. The tweet bars can barely be seen or not at all for July. Let's
Yeah.
see, for July. Could I select July? Let me see. I'm gonna select July. Oh, hmm.
Again, this is fake data. So, could this happen? If something was trending on Twitter and just taking over the whole platform, maybe. But yeah, this is the challenge when you have something that's overwhelmingly larger than the others. You're relying
Yeah.
on that label. You can't really, see the bars for comparison.
Okay, I understood now what happened. Okay, wait. The first month is June, so you're not comparing to anything because there's no previous month. Okay, guys. So you have to select a next month, July. Now you will see a percentage here. That's why. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what I was confused. Okay, so you're pretty much saying this month compared to this month, so that you can see 167. So you're comparing 354 compared to 132, 167%. When you go to June, there's nothing to compare. That's what it's doing, nothing here. That's
Yeah,
why.
so I think maybe you just omit that entirely. Do some calculations or some trickery, and just omit it altogether when it's on the first.
Oh. So he's doing
Level.
the buy hour. Let me see. I wanted to check that. This is July. Oh no, I'm in July. Okay, yeah. So James was referring to the July here. Oh, okay. Still referring to this. Okay. Yeah, and then Yuri was saying what I was saying. Like you need to select other than June. Okay, thanks. Yeah, yes, that's what we now. I noticed that. Anyway, this is a very good, I think, overall dashboard. I mean, it's using fake data, but one of the ways that you can use this if you're working on Tableau is you can download this, and if you have, I would say, most of the same metrics, you can probably replace your data source with your data source, and you already have some type of thing that you can work on and start playing with it and change it to your specific company logo and fonts and or colors. So what do you think about that, Michael? Like you always recommend, trying to utilize this type of, I would say, Tableau starters or Tableau dashboards helpers. I'm sorry.
Like the accelerators?
Yeah, because I think this is an accelerator. The original one was an accelerator.
Well, yeah, these are part of the real world fake data
Mhm.
community activities.
Mhm.
So you can go out, connect to this data out on the community site. You go to the Google Tableau Community Toolkit. You'll find this stuff. So you basically download it, and you can just make your own designs based off of this. So that's kind of the idea of this. So, but this is the concept, right? You want to put something together, and if you want to create an accelerator, a template, where you can then just plug and play your own information. This is a perfect example of what to do.
Exactly. This is a very good example of one where you can actually recreate. Like I do this myself many times. I find things like this, like say, oh, I like it. I mean, if this can save me 20% of my time, awesome. I mean, that's what I'm looking, 20% or more. So I mean, I can start with this, replicate, redo. I mean, use some of these examples, some of these things here, and then I'm ahead of the game. I'm saving some time, and I have a this helped me out with the wireframe too, right? Like if you're doing wireframe, this could help you out figuring out a wireframe for a dashboard like this. And this could be social media. I mean, you imagine this says Twitter, right? But what if you have something here that you can change, and then you can go to Facebook and you can go to LinkedIn, and then now you have, let's say, three different dashboards, or you can combine things from the three to create a really nice set of dashboards related to social media. Yeah, that's what I will use it for.
And you can download, right, from public.tableau.com, right?
Yes, you can download it from Tableau. Absolutely, you can download it from Tableau. This is downloadable. I mean, let's look at it real quick. You can go here. You can download. Apparently, this one is not downloadable, but there's some. Almost all of them are. But I'm not sure why this one is not right now. But I would say like 90% of them are. So, but if it was, then you'll downloaded this and then you just open it in Tableau and your Tableau desktop, and then you can actually reuse this and see how it works. How how
Hmm.
was that somebody created? You can reuse the same calculations. I mean,
Hmm.
it's great.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely,
great.
yeah. It's definitely something that anybody can do, and yeah, it's awesome.
But you need to have
Um,
a license, right?
hmm?
You need to have a license. Is that right?
Yes, you have to have the license, but
Hmm.
I think even if you do like Tableau public, you can definitely use this or open it and use it,
Hmm.
and you can see how it is. So wanted to
Okay.
show everyone. We're almost at the end. It's a little bit about the Tableau conference next month. We have the Tableau conference. We'll be there. Data meeting will be in the Tableau conference. And if you look for us here, like Michael and I, for example, let me see if it works like it did. Here is the show. We're going to be in the Tableau conference doing in person show there. And for James, we got a time and date. It's going to be on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. For James. James, I hope to see you there. James, I'm gonna be there from Monday, so I'll share with my information with you later, and we can see each other Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's gonna be at 2:30 p.m. Las Vegas, and we're not the room yet or any other stuff, but we're gonna be there in the conference doing the show with other individuals. It's gonna be great. People with us, some individuals that actually were in the Iron Biz competition, and they're gonna be with us doing the show. Oh, great! Gonna arrive Sunday. Great. We're gonna be there on Monday. Michael, are you gonna be there on Sunday or Monday? It's fun.
Monday morning.
Monday morning. So I will get there. I think Monday afternoon. So yeah, I should be there, and yeah, we're gonna be in the conference, and should be awesome. If anybody is going to the conference, I hope to see you there. And anyway, next week we have the May the 4th be with you. So we have a Star Wars theme. So this is going to be Star Wars data visualizations. If anybody in the chat, I mean, James, you want to be with us, bring your Star Wars data visualization or anything that you see out there that you like. It doesn't have to be from Tableau. It can be from any, like I said, any tool. It can be an infographic. It can be something that you saw in a newspaper, magazine, anything online that have some type of charts or graphs for Star Wars. Come with us. Let me know. Send me an email, and you can be with us on the show next week. The Marine before be with you would be awesome. I'm hopefully I can get a Star Wars shirt and some other things related to Star Wars next week. Yep. That would be a great one. But anyway, I just wanted to say, everybody, have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. Enjoy the weather if you're in Florida, and you're in Phoenix over there. Is it too hot right now, Michael, over there in Phoenix? Or how is it?
Uh, upper 90s.
Over
So
90s? What about in
getting
Brazil,
warmer.
Alan? Is you in Brazil right now, right?
Yeah, it's very hot here.
It's very hot? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Here in Orlando, it's
Here
okay.
it's always
Up and
hot.
down.
Like
Up and down.
if you ask me any time of the year, I would say yeah, it's hot here.
It's hot.
No, I'm just saying only in July, August, it's a little bit cold here, but
Uh-huh.
it's not that cold.
Oh, awesome, awesome. But anyway, I just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for attending, and hope to see you next week. Like I said, Star Wars theme, Star Wars data visualization is going to be great. Anyway,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Have a good
Thanks
day.
Bye-bye.
all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.